Hello and welcome to the showcase, and my name is Sean Martin and I've got 45 years in the experience in the field of entertainment. I'm here to share with you some of the greatest talents and experience in Clubland. We do this by learning from each other and enjoying what we do. I'd like you to ask, please subscribe to my channel. Now today, what can I say? I've been waiting for this one for a while. I thought I would get a no, but I got a yeah. I'd like to welcome to the showcase one of the greatest agents in Humberside for many years. Welcome, Liz Hugil.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. And it's a beautiful sunny day in Hull.
I wouldn't know, Liz. I haven't been there. It's a cold day in Thailand, just to make you feel better.
Oh, no, it can't be 1 degree.
Well, Liz, I go back many years, and I remember at the point there was two agents in Hull. One was called Danny's, one was called McLeod Holden. Now, you could get work easy with Danny's Dan because he didn't care. You just went to his office and he'd give you bookings for 12 quid a night and off you went. But McLeod and Holden was different. It was a professional setup, and if you got in with McLeod and Holden, you're on a winner. And I always remember those first words, "Are you in the VAA?" Do you remember that, Liz?
I do, yes, definitely, yes. It started dying out when I started, though. It started fading out then.
Yes, yeah, I can understand that. Now, Liz, I'm sure the viewers are dying to know, how long have you been an agent?
Well, I've been in the business 40 years. I started 40 years ago. As for being called an agent, when I first started, I was called a booking executive. That's what it said in my card. And then obviously I ended up just being called an agent in the end, so.
And have you always worked for McLeod Agency?
I've worked for them, as I said, for 40 years. It was really weird. I knew Peter and Ian very well, and I popped in the office to see them, and Ian offered me a job, and I didn't particularly need one at the time. I didn't, the children had gone to school, but I didn't need to work. And I spoke to my husband, and he said, "Oh, go for it on your terms." So I rang Ian up, and I said to Ian, work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, have Thursday off, work Friday, but I want to start at 9:30 and finish at 3. And he accepted that. And that's what I did when I first started. And now it's 24 hours, 7 days a week.
Yeah, I can imagine. Good old Ian. Get on, you've shocked me. It's Peter Peter's still alive.
Robin passed away.
Robin, that's right. Yeah, he did.
Yeah. No, I just spoke to Peter actually, and Ian's fine. Yeah,
Wow,
he hasn't
fantastic.
been well over the years, but yes, he's fine. Yes.
Wow, that's great to hear. Tell us, Liz, what do you like the most about your job?
You mean what I don't like?
Oh, well, I'm sure there'll be plenty of those.
Yeah, no, I must like a lot of things because we've been in the business so long. Otherwise, I'd have gone long ago, wouldn't I? I think I've always liked speaking to people. Of course, you're on the phone speaking to people. And then you go out meeting people and going to the clubs and venues, etc. I mean, I don't do so much nowadays, not like I used to do. I used to go out 4 nights a week. But no, I think it's just general speaking to people, which I love. And I get satisfaction, booking the acts, and especially if they're really, really good acts, into venues and getting a call the next day and saying, "Oh, thanks for that act, Liz. They were brilliant,"
Well, you're a master at it, Liz. You've been at it a long time. You know good talent when you see it. I just want to take you back a little bit because I want to talk about Peter. I mean, when I was young, I was managed by Peter. My friend Craig was managed by yourself, Craig Leach, who's out in Thailand now. Highly respects you in every way, which is very nice. He still speaks very highly of you. You started in Hugill, is that correct?
Peter actually started in his garden shed.
Where was that, Liz?
That was in Kirkella.
Wow.
In Kirkella. I met Peter not long after that because his secretary was one of my friends. So that's how I got to know Peter and got to know Ian. And it first started out in 1965, 66 in his garden shed as McLeod Entertainment Agency. And then he joined forces with Don Holden in the 1st of January 70. And that was when it was McLeod Holden.
And is that... Yeah, did you move to that office in Hugill? Yeah.
That's the one moved near the church, yes.
Yeah. I remember going a bugger to get parked, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, I parked. We used to get down the side there. It wasn't too bad. We could park down the side, and also in them days there wasn't the you could park for so long, a lot longer and things like that. So it was a lot easier to park. Yeah. So, but yeah, those were the days then.
And then when did you move to the Hessel High Road?
Maybe, let me see, about 38 years ago.
Really?
I think maybe 39. I know I wasn't working long in those offices before we moved to Hessel High Road.
See, what was the move? Was it just expansion?
Yes, there was a lot of us. Obviously, there was Peter, there was Robin Carew, there was Ian Gray, and obviously there was Dick Alex, who managed the dark side of McLeod's business. What had happened was when I first started, Don Holden had been retired 6 months. So I, in effect, took his job over. So I was just really typing. I wasn't buying or selling or anything like that. It took me a full year before before anybody would speak to a woman, put it that way. Oh, yeah. Club proprietors, no, they didn't want to speak to a woman. They needed to speak to Ian. But I finally got around them in the end. And then, of course, John died 6 months after I was started. And then that's when we more or less thought we'd move to Hessel High Road, 1133.
Do you know, that was a lovely place? I mean, you could get parked easy, and you went in there. I know I had the downstairs, and you had to go upstairs to see yourself. I mean, I used to come and say, Liz, I got any bookings this week or next month or whatever. And then Peter would be there, come in my office, and it was all so nice. People think of agents as not very nice, sharks and things like that. But
no sharks at McLeod's, I'll tell you that now.
Well, no, I can understand it because they don't understand. They just think a booking agent takes the commission and does nothing. But there's far more to it than that, Liz. And I've seen what goes on in the background and things like that. To you, Liz, what's the benefit to the viewers, to the artists, to prospective people who want to work with you? What's the benefits of using an agency?
I mean, we obviously do correct paperwork, which the artist gets from us within the day or a couple of days after I've done the booking. And that tells you everything on that, how many spots is, etc., and passes it on to the venue. If there's a problem, then they can always refer to us and we can maybe sort the problem out for them. It doesn't happen so much nowadays because there's that much people booking direct, to be quite truthful. But they know what they're doing, put it that way, if they book through an agent. Whereas they know the fee, they know how many spots, etc., where maybe a pub will just ring up and give them, oh yeah, you're on at 6 o'clock and blah, 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 etc. And just tell them to be there. And they won't probably even tell them how many spots they've got, and that.
Well,
and also whether it goes through the books or not.
Well, do you know, Liz, as well, you've got Pat working with you, haven't you, still? Which is
Pat's
lovely.
still working for me, bless her.
Good old Pat.
Actually, yes.
Oh, she's lovely. When I came back to the UK last year and I kind of did a bit myself, got the feel for it again, people were saying, just ring around, get your own work. Honest to God, Liz, I think it's the most demoralising thing possible. I just didn't enjoy it. I felt like I was begging. Whereas for an agent, you say, Liz, can you get me some work? Yeah, what's your dates? And you try and do your best to fill them.
Yeah, exactly.
And you say, do you want this? Don't you want this? You don't have to take it, But sometimes if it was a low fee, you'd say, I'll drop the percentage. I'll only take 10%.
Yeah, I always drop the percentage if it's that, yes. I can understand, people have got to earn money. We've got to earn money, but obviously you've got to earn money. The acts have got to earn money, So it's sometimes, especially if it's the living.
Yeah, but artist booking direct, Liz, let's say, for example, you book a pub, the Swallow or something like that, and they cancel me on the afternoon. I can't do nothing about it. I've either got to ring you, I've got no contracts, whatever, or if I'm sick, I can't do nothing about it. I've got to ring them. They've got to find it must be a big messing about,
I can't understand why they book direct, actually, because they must have to ring maybe 5, maybe 10, maybe 12 people to fill that, if you was ill, to fill that place, whereas I know who is available.
Yeah.
And so it's much easier for me to fix it. They could take probably half a day. Sometimes I've taken that one, mainly because acts haven't been returned me call or something like that. But I just can't see the logic. And I also can't see they pay exactly the same booking through an agent than what they do booking direct. I think they honestly think they have to pay more. And I've proved it over and over again that sometimes the Acts charges them more than what we would charge them.
Well, artists, I always say I've never failed using an agent, and Liz has always been great with me. There are other agents as well. As you all know, there's Kingston Agency as well. So, there's not the monopoly like there used to be. With when McLeod's was on there, it was just yourself and Newlands. And again, there was no competition because Newland was just booking the pubs and clubs, and you, in your infinite wisdom, was managing Craig, booking cruises. Peter was booking us in Germany, with the band and things like that, and then he booked me in the Butlins, and so you got more of an exclusive work, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, and you got. I mean, we used to do all the Bath shows. Robin used to do all the Bath shows, and I think you probably worked for Robin doing the Bath shows over a period of time. So you got the cream.
Yeah.
When you looked after by an agent, you got the cream. And I don't think sometimes people realise that, or acts don't realise that if I want an act there next Saturday, I'll look see what I've got available on my managed acts or my priority acts, and they come first, obviously.
Are you still managing then, Liz?
Yeah, still manage a few acts, yeah. Still
that's
manage a few acts, yeah.
Right, okay. Is it getting harder to book these days? I mean, we're in 2025, Liz. You're still going.
Yeah. It is harder because venues want something for nothing. I don't blame the venues. It's the breweries.
Oh.
It's the breweries because a lot of them are very tied to the brewery, and so the brewery gives them how much they've got to spend in the week. So it is as much as the manager would like to spend more or get a better class of that, they're told not to by the brewery, obviously. And there is a few breweries who do dictate this. So it is hard. I used to book 72 venues on a Saturday night. I once counting. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, I don't know how many years ago that was, but yeah. I wouldn't like to book 72 now. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't turn the business away, but there isn't enough good quality acts to book all those venues. I'm not saying Hull, in general, there isn't.
Can I stop you there, Liv? Why isn't there? Why isn't? Did COVID take away a lot of the acts, or do you think?
Yes, it's because a lot of them got proper jobs, as they said, and so they occasionally do sing now, but they maybe want to sing just twice a month or something like that, or just Saturday. So COVID did have a big effect on acts. I said getting a proper job. But it's difficult. Look how many clubs have closed down in Hull. I mean, there's 2 of the club proprietor clubs left, and then they're not club proprietor clubs now. And I mean, there was maybe 15, 16, 17, 18 of those.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was ripe. You could do 7 nights a week. You could bring acts in from the northeast and everything. You can't now.
No, I used to bring them in Thursday. So they used to work Thursday night for me, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday lunchtime, with the stripper.
Phoenix.
Yeah, the Cherokee used to have them in Street. Yeah, all of the strippers, and then they used to do the Saturday night. And the fee for the afternoon, the Sunday night, paid for the lodgings for the week. For that weekend.
Yeah, I understand. Remember, Liz, one thing that I do find, there's not so many live bands around nowadays. Is it more difficult to book bands?
I very rarely book a band. Funny enough, I did have a client ring me on Friday to book a band for holiday camp, which was in December. There's a lot of bands going, but the pub bands, the working pubs, and there is a lot of pubs who do tape bands, I've noticed on the websites, on the Facebook, etc. So there is a good few bands, mainly I think more rocky bands. I could be wrong. I've got a few bands on my list, but I very rarely book them nowadays. It's usually private functions I book them for, weddings and things like that.
I understand. You touched on earlier, there isn't enough acts around. Why is it difficult to find a new act, Liz?
I mean, we always use McLeod. I always used to audition on the Thursday nights, and people used to be ringing me and saying, "No, can we work for McLeod Holden, a McLeod agency?" And I used to organise once a month an audition show. We often used to do it at the Calvert Club, that was, and that was on a Thursday. And we used to maybe get 5, 6, 7 acts Dad rang up, want to audition, so we'd audition and then, you know, put them in the venues. Sorry about that, something at the front door. And sometimes we used to get, well, it used to happen in May. I used to get acts ringing me and saying, I want to be a singer. And could we go on your books? So I says, well, what do you want to sing? You know, what do you want to actually do? Well, we'd like to do something. So I always used to sing them before I auditioned them to either a male, a very good male, or a very good female in Hull. Go and see those acts, and that is what you've got to aim for. I could guarantee out of 7 acts that ring me, 2 would ring me back.
Oh, it's crazy, isn't it?
Karaoke didn't help. Karaoke, when it came, didn't help because everybody says, "Oh, you can sing," but they could sing 2 or 3 songs, and that was it. Yeah,
you can spot them a mile off. One thing I've not seen for a long time: comedians. What's happened to all the comedians?
Well, it's really weird this, but I did actually book 2 last week.
Wow, crazy.
But one was for a Darts and Dominoes presentation, and another one was for a venue I booked tributes in, and he just fancied a comic for a change.
Wow.
So I did put CJ Harper in, actually. Well, Craig Harper in, you know.
Wow. Is he still...
It'd be nice to, it'd be nice to see him in May. Yes, it'd be lovely to see him in May.
I'd love to get Craig on here. Maybe you can have a word for me, Liz.
Yeah, I would do. Yeah, I'll pass it on.
He'd be great for the viewers.
I'll speak to his agent. Yes, yeah, that's no problem.
Is he managed, Liz, now?
Yes, he's been managed. He's managed by Flair Entertainment.
Mike, yeah.
Rachel at Flair.
Rachel.
So, but I'll speak to Rachel. Yes.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Well, he lives that way. You see, he lives where, not far from where Rachel's father used to live. So that's
Okay.
So that's where he lives. Yeah.
Last question, Liz. I don't want you on here all day, boring.
No, you're okay. I'm enjoying it, actually.
Difficulties you face in 2025 compared to previous years?
I actually don't think there'll be a great deal of difference to what it was probably last year.
Okay.
I've noticed January and February, there's been a lot of cut downs, again, by people who not managed pubs, but the breweries, they've cut down, you know, because obviously people January, February are short of money, so they're not going in the venues. And, you know, it's just in general, like everywhere. I mean, you know, we've got to see, but it usually books up about April time when all the holiday camps start opening and then. So,
yeah, I think
I just plod away till April.
Yeah. And are you still working with agencies up and down the country to swap?
I work with a lot of agents in Yorkshire and Lincolnshire. Wow. Yes, definitely. Yeah, you've got to, because you've got to get the cream of the acts, obviously. So if the venues want the creams, and I sell a lot of my managed acts to other agents, especially, you know, in Lincolnshire and Skegness area where there's a lot of holiday camps and caravan places. So from April onwards, a lot of my acts go there. And obviously then there's the Haven camps and the Park Dina camps, you see. So, yeah.
Well, Liz, it's been great. I mean, I could talk to you all day. It's really lovely to talk about the past, talk about your experience, how professional you are. I'd like to say, please, you know, from the viewer's point of view, we hope Peter's okay and Robin.
Yeah,
not
thank
Robin.
You. No, Robin.
Ian.
Yeah.
Ian. And we wish them all the best for the future. Your agency is called now?
The McLeod Agency.
So just the McLeod.
I've been running since 2008.
Right. Okay. And what I'll do is I'll get your number, Liz, and put it on this video, and it'll go up on YouTube for all the acts to see and everything like that. So hopefully, you know, you might get 1 or 2 more people that
might do.
that fancies, you know, your expertise. But on behalf of everybody in Hull, thank you for keeping the McLeod Agency going. You've done a fantastic job of it, Liz.
That's no problem. Thanks for asking me to come on here.
And we wish you well, and hopefully we might see you again in the future very soon.
Yeah, hopefully. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Liz.
Thank you. Okay, thanks.